In the Curse of Dreadbear DLC, we are introduced to this new event called Fall Fest, and during Curse of Dreadbear, we are at Fall Fest 83. The event returns once again in Help Wanted 2, with multiple levels taking place there, such as Phaser Blast and the Cinder Carousel. The Fall Fest poster is also a collectible item in Help Wanted 2, with the date being 1970, the earliest date that we have. And now with the next game, Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, right around the corner, with its connections to Fall Fest, I have created a theory on how this game will end. So in one of my previous videos about the daycare attendant and how I think that they will appear in Secret of the Mimic, which you should watch by the way if you haven't, was already a connection to Fall Fest, with posters of the carousel and posters of Fall Fest in the VR booth for Secret of the Mimic's demo. And also the overall carnival theme, especially with Jackie, a Jack-in-the-Box animatronic, who is also a clown, and Dolly, who I've stated multiple times, I believe, is the carnival nurse. Now, what does all this have to do with Secret of the Mimic's ending? Or how I think it will end? First off, a lot like my Need a Hand theory, which again, you should totally go watch, there's a bunch of imagery in the newer teasers that we've been getting for Mimic Mondays and MCM Archive Fridays. First off, in the announcement trailer for Secret of the Mimic, released near Five Nights at Freddy's 10-year anniversary and the latest MCM Archive episode, a film reel is used at the end to introduce the title. Now, in the Secret of the Mimic trailer, it's normal, but in the announcement trailer and in MCM Archives 2, it's burning away. Now, with Fall Fest, we know that Fall Fest had some horrific fire sometime in its history, either around, I want to say 79 for this theory, because that is the year that Secret of the Mimic takes place. In Help Wanted 2, to get the Freddy memory plushie, you'll have to shoot down the rockets in the 3 previous levels. Throughout the levels, that will shoot down a hay barrel, some oil, and in FNAF 2 Phaser Blast, it will create a spark that burns down the Phaser Blast area. And also in the Cinder Carousel with Jacko Moon, the carousel is on fire. Again, alluding to a fire happening sometime in Fall Fest's history. In the Tales from the Pizzaplex epilogues, the Mimic's head is described to be differently colored than his body being the one that's discolored, like it had survived some sort of fire. That is how they describe it. Like it had survived some form of fire. But wait, doesn't the entirety of Secret of the Mimic take place inside of Murray's Costume Manor? Well, in the trailer, there's a scene with the player on top of the roof. So, I think that we will be able to leave the Costume Manor in some way, shape, or form, especially after Maestro Man destroys part of the ceiling. I also do think that the ending is going to involve the tiger costume in some way, but I am not all too sure or all too confident in that theory. So let me set the scene. It's the end of the game, the Mimic's design has been revealed, and Fall Fest is there, and the Mimic catches on fire. That sounds really cool, but also just sounds like they're overusing hype moments and aura. But with all the hints that Secret of the Mimic is connected to Fall Fest, the Fall Fest fire, and the Mimic's discoloration in the epilogues, it's pretty safe to say that the Mimic will get burned at the end. Now, will we retrieve the Mimic? Most likely. It wouldn't make sense for them to make an entirely new game if the player doesn't retrieve the Mimic. So, to sum it all up, I think that Secret of the Mimic will end, or at least have an ending, with the Fall Fest fire that has been alluded to throughout the Steelwool games, because of all the fire imagery connected with Fall Fest, and Fall Fest's connection with Secret of the Mimic. But those are my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. How do you think Secret of the Mimic will end? Tell me in the comments down below, and make sure to pre-order Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic before it releases on June 13th. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you guys soon. See ya!